Hello, welcome to the live stream. It's my birthday today, so if I make a mess of this, it was not intended. We're going to talk about the animal companion. I am in the process of making sure that my sound is a little bit better compared to last week when I was doing my live stream. For some strange reason, every time something updates, something changes, and therefore you're going to make another change and adjustment. Of course, first, I'll be watching the ad. What ad are you watching? I know, it's skippable. Thank God for that. All right, so I'm going to skip that. We don't have to watch the ad. Hi, how's it going, Overboard DM? I want you to tell me if the sound is problematic. If there's an issue with the sound, I need to know now. Good. Excellent. If the sound was bad, then I would be able to sort that out. Okay, how's it going, John? Yes, I put out a lot of stuff and I have no other life outside of my full-time job. How's it going, Robert? Hi, Fred. Thank you for that information. If anybody is having problems with the sound or the picture, you will let me know. Okay. Thank you, David. Excellent. Okay, so for those of you who are unaware, normally I put a start time down in my videos for the live streams. Now, I do that once YouTube publishes it. They take a bit of time to do that nowadays, probably because a lot of the live streams are about an hour long, so I understand that. I will do that, but my live streams go unlisted. How's it going, Cameron? As a result, that means you can't access the live streams if you disappear, unless you have subscribed to the channel, hit the bell button, and turned on notifications. And in some situations, even that won't be enough, because it's YouTube, okay? It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. All right, now if you are a patron, you don't have to worry about the live streams because I do actually release those videos to them. Live streams go straight to the patrons. Otherwise, if you're not worried about the live stream and you're not worried about the Q&A and the feedback in the live stream, that's fine. I will do an edited version of all of my videos that is released anywhere from 3 to 4 days after. Sometimes it might be longer depending on how complex my life gets, just how it works sometimes. All right, so that's the basics. Now, how do I normally do my live streams? Well, first off, with my live streams, I will give you a whole bunch of images and pictures, and I will read from my notes, and we will be talking about the animal companion. And I'm going to tell you right now, since I keep talking about animal companions in other videos, I'm going to give you the tools to actually do something with it, because I haven't been doing that, right? So now you're going to get a series of videos, not just one video, but a series of videos that actually cover that area, so that you know what you're doing. And then, of course, you've got the choice of ignoring what I have to say or not. That's up to you. Okay, so we've got a plan, and that's what we're going to work with. So I'm going to grab a glass of water. I suggest you get some food to drink, get comfortable, and we are going to talk about animal companions. All right, unplug my microphone. So settle back, and let's make this happen, shall we? Let's get to our start screen. Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. And what do you know? I keep going on about animal companions and other videos, and I never actually tell you how to use them. But today, we're going to talk about how to select an animal companion in Dungeons and Dragons 5e. It sounds like a simple question. Unfortunately for you, you have 2.5 pages of notes to work through, and I'm going to go through this. I'm going to be very, very clear. I'm not going to make it complex, this video. It will be relatively simple to follow. So the first thing I want to say is the player's handbook and the monster manual has a selection of beasts that you can use that are really reasonable in terms of an animal companion that could be used by players' characters in combat, not out of combat, not as utility, but actually in combat. So you don't have to build the animal companion yourself. You can use existing or pre-existing beasts from the player's handbook and the monster manual. And that's in the back of the book, okay? Animal companions. Let's talk specifically about what do we want to do with an animal companion. The animal companion does not have to be as powerful as a player character. and probably shouldn't be as powerful as them because it would overshadow the player's character. That's something that I think is on everybody's radar, so we don't want to do that. So we're not going to. The number of hit points is not going to determine your beast's level, okay? What is important with your beast, the animal companion that you select, is the number of hit dice that the beast has. Usually this indicates what sort of character level the animal is suitable for. So for an example, with a wolf has 2 hit dice. You'll see at the top of the stat block, it states usually 2D, and I think in that case, I can't remember, it might be an 8 or a 10. So the number of hit dice is what's determining the level. So if it has 2 hit dice, the wolf, then that is going to be suitable for a character level of 2. Not 1, not 3, but 2. That's how we're basing everything here, okay? That's the simplest way to understand the whole process. It's not an exact science. There will be variation with this. The next thing is, I want you to look at the beasts that have the following hit dice. These are the ones that I recommend. They are survivable. They will survive combat. Other ones won't. So a D8, if they have a D8, that's good. If they have a D10, excellent. If they have a D12, even better. Those are the ones you want to select. I would not advise going for other ones, okay? Avoid the rest of the animal companions that are there that have a D4 or a D6. They're not going to survive combat. They might be useful for utility, but they're not really going to stand in the front line and do anything other than perish and die, cause you a whole lot of grief and your players. So let's not go there, shall we? Let's do something else instead of making more problems for ourselves. Next, here are a few options with recommendations for their level in play. I have 18 of them. 18. Not 6, not 5, not 10, but 18. You know what it's like on my channel. I always give you far more than you need. First on my list is the Mastiff. The Mastiff is basically a big, powerful dog. Recommended, I would say, for level 1. Here's my problem with the Mastiff. The Mastiff is still probably at level 1 going to go down, and I don't recommend selecting animal companions that are suitable for level 1. If you're using an animal companion, the chances are you're doing so because you don't have enough players at your table and you're trying to beef up their numbers by giving them an animal companion, since I keep talking about doing this. So I would go with something that's more likely level 2. But I know somebody's going to ask me what would be suitable for level 1, so Mastiff is on the list. Big, powerful dog. Number 2, the Hyena. Level 1 again, suitable for level 1. Not recommended, as I said, because it is more suitable for level 1. If you're going to use animal companions, like I said, go with something that's more suitable for level 2 rather than a level 1 monster. Or should I say beast. We're using beasts, aren't here. Righto, number 3, the Wolf. It's a classic. Suitable for level 2. Lots of sharp teeth, claws, good sense of smell, good sense of survival, really useful for a lot of utility function as well outside of combat. And yes, I have talked about how to do things with animal companions. If you're going to use animal companions, please let the players roll a death save with the animal companion so you don't have to constantly have them replacing them should they die accidentally in combat. And it's going to happen, unless of course you stack the deck completely. Okay, number 4. Oh, the Giant Badger. Suitable for level 2. This is bonkers crazy as an option. If you've ever seen a real badger, they just won't let go. They bite on, they clamp on, and they stay there. They have an affinity for boots, so keep your boots hanging from the tree, otherwise they're probably going to get chewed up and they'll be gone. I've had lots of fun with badgers in the past, and in fact I believe I ate one. One of my characters ate a badger. Accidentally, didn't realise it belonged to somebody that was important. But that's another story. Okay, but badgers, really good. Next one. Number 5 is the elk. Why is that useful? 1, it's suitable for level 2, but it has antlers, which means it can attack. Yes, it could turn around and use its sort of hoofy things, but no, it's the antlers. That's its main weapon. And you can ride this thing if you're not too big, provided you haven't been eating too much stodgy, complex carbohydrates like potatoes and so forth. You should be fine. Light people, good. Heavy people, not so good. And would require some time spent with them, training them so that they understand that they are actually being used as a mount. So not necessarily the perfect mount, but potentially a mount. Yay! Okay, next is number 5. No, number 6. Number 6 is a boar. Not that sort of boar, not the boar that you get bored with, but the boar that looks like a pig. Suitable for level 2. They're actually pretty good at fighting. Those tusks, if you've ever had to deal with a wild boar or pig, they're pretty brutal. They can make a mess of you pretty quickly. And if you ever get sick of them because they haven't been able to track down something, because they've got a good sense of smell as well, you can just eat them because they taste fantastic. So a boar, suitable for level 2. Number 7 is the constrictor snake or the python. Suitable for level 2, again, this is a hugger. This one loves to hug. Give it lots of kisses and hugs, because if you don't, it'll probably eat all of your cats and dogs. You won't have a rodent problem because it's probably going to eat all the rats and the mice, which is good, but it will eat other things. So, python. And I would suggest being careful about where you sleep. You might want to make sure that the sentry is checking to make sure that the constrictor snake is not curling its way around your neck while you are sleeping at night to keep itself warm. Okay, next, number 8. Number 8 is a classic favourite, and that is the panther. Panther, black, suitable for level 3, a stealthy hunter, can camouflage itself perfectly at night because it's black. It's really good at hiding in foliage. So, and like most cats are, they are extremely good at hunting. So, and this thing will actually survive quite a few hits. So, panther, definitely on the list. And let's get real. Having a big cat as an animal companion is super cool. Okay, number 9. Number 9 is the crocodile, suitable for level 3. This is the swamp or lake or water-based trash compactor. I know what you're thinking. Fred, what the heck is this thing doing in here? How am I supposed to deal with a player who wants to have a crocodile follow them around in a dungeon or a tomb? That doesn't make any sense, and they're not that quick. They don't walk that fast. They can swim fast, but they don't walk that fast. I've put it here because I knew somebody would ask me about water-based animal companions, and I selected the crocodile because out of all the animal companions that are in water, the crocodile is probably the fastest one that can deal with being in water and on land at the same time. And frankly, even though it's totally impractical to have a crocodile as an animal companion if you're going into a dungeon or a tomb, it's pretty cool. Okay, number 10. Number 10 is the ape. That's right, not the giant ape, but the ape. Suitable for level 3. This is better than having a hairy uncle. Incredibly powerful and strong. Got great instincts, and there's a chance it might actually understand what you are trying to communicate without having to speak with animals. That's always one of the concerns. But how do I give my animal companion instructions because it doesn't understand what I'm saying? Well, fortunately, an ape does not have a pea brain, so you should be fine in this case. And again, a super cool option as an animal companion. Number 11, very traditional to Dungeons and Dragons, that is the axe beak. That's right, it's a bird. It's got a beak like an axe, so that means it's very strong and powerful. Suitable for level 3, it's a flightless bird. And I know what you're thinking, well Fred, why would I want a flightless bird when I would prefer to have a bird that can fly? Because the birds that can fly, unfortunately, I don't think are a good idea, particularly when it comes to getting involved in combat, because they could be utilized for other things. And I'm going to talk more about that later. But since somebody might say, but I would like to have a bird, I would suggest using the axe beak. It can survive being in close quarter combat. Don't consider it a mount. Okay, next, number 12. Number 12 is definitely a war horse. This is the Clydesdale war horse. Level 3. Use it for level 3. Fantastic as a mount, designed to do that specifically. And it's not really going to worry too much about trying to bite its enemy, but it will use its hooves. So we want that. And they're really strong, they're really heavy, and they will do a lot of damage. So perfect sort of thing to have as an animal companion and a mount at the same time. Now I know what you're saying, but doesn't that mean they need to have a special feat like mounted combat to be able to use something like a war horse in combat if they're riding it at the same time? And I would say, well, probably yes, if you want to benefit from everything that the feat offers. But you can do other things with it. And it's not like they have to actually sit on the horse the whole time. They could just jump off when there's a battle. So a few options available there. It doesn't have to necessarily insist on having the feat if they're not actually on the horse. Okay, next is 13. Oh, we're getting into the big babies now. This is the black bear, suitable for level 3. This is not a cuddly teddy bear. This is not your little teddy bear you took to bed with you. This thing is an enormously powerful, heavy, dangerous creature with teeth and claws and weight and an instinct, great sense of smell. So not just great for being up close in close quarter combat right in the front line, but can do a lot of utility things as well. What could be better? What could be better than that? I can't think of too much. Yes, I can actually. Let's go with number 14, which is the brown bear. The brown bear is even bigger, more powerful, got all the benefits that the black bear had, just more amplified. Suitable for level 4. This thing is just scary. Frankly, anybody who has a brown bear as an animal companion, I'd be peeing my pants right now if I even considered that a possibility. Every time I see anybody like a real human being with a big bear, I'm thinking, what did you have to do? How much drugs did you have to pump into that creature so it would not tear you to pieces? Or are you just super, super friendly? I don't know. Okay, next is number 15. Let's go with the big cats. Big cat's always a good option. Lion, suitable for level 4. It's got the ability to pounce and stalk. It's great at hunting, just like all cats usually are. And it's king of the animals. I don't think that's necessarily going to give you any major pull. I don't think you're going to be able to get the animals to sing to your lion or anything like that. But usually cats are pretty smart too, so they should be able to sort of figure out what's going on. I don't think that necessarily communicating with a lion without having some way of speaking with beasts is going to be like too easy, but if it's friendly with you, it's probably going to protect you. Good enough for me, right? Okay, next. Well, I don't know if it's going to be good. Is it good enough for me? It has to be good enough for your dungeon master as well. Okay, number 16 is the giant spider. Yeah, I'm bat crazy. Why the heck did I put in a giant spider? It's suitable for level 4. It's definitely going to survive a hit in combat. Here's the thing. It can climb on walls and ceilings, so it doesn't necessarily have to be up close. It's not necessarily going to be suitable for up close combat. Here's the problem that I know a few dungeon masters will start having to sort of deal with, and that is the fact that it can cast a web. And web is super, super useful and powerful as a tool in any kind of combat. And having a spider that can do that, that's big enough, kind of makes you sort of wonder what the heck you're getting yourself into. If you're going to use the giant spider, and I know some dungeon masters have, and you're going to use it, just be wary that it can be a little bit overpowered given the capacity to use web. That's the only issue I would see with that. Next is number 17. The wolf was good, but the dire wolf is even better. Suitable for level 5. This is claws, teeth, vicious predator. Really useful to have, a bit more powerful and dangerous compared to your standard wolf, but all of the benefits that they had and more. And you can use it at level 5 without having to power up the wolf to level 5. It's already there. It's already done for you. Don't have to think about it. Okay, number 18, the last one on my list. I said I had 18 options, and here they are. The last one is the tiger. I saved the best for last. Suitable for level 5, this is a jungle menace. Like all cats, really good at stalking things. And really, when it comes to dealing with a tiger, the idea of having anybody near a tiger is frightening. Personally, I've always found that really impressive, but also quite frightening. But on top of that, it's super cool. It's definitely top of the list in terms of being really, really cool to have. And it can deal with all of those hardships that it's going to get when it's up close in combat. A nasty piece of work, but still really cool. All right. Okay, so there are a couple of things that I have left off this list that I'm sure people are wondering, why have I not talked about them? Well, here we go. I'm going to explain. First off, there is no giant eagles on my list, as The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings movies have already proven that giant eagles will solve all problems for player characters. Hence, do not give out the giant eagle as an animal companion unless you want them to solve everything without having to think too hard or do very much. Because as we know, if there's any problem that shows up, no matter how bad or disastrous and with no chance of escape, giant eagles will save the day. So no giant eagle. Next, staying with the theme of flying creatures, large flying creatures and beasts, specifically creatures with flyby attacks, are far too easy to exploit by players, particularly at lower levels of play. So I would avoid them. Hence why there are no birds that are large on my list, and there are no flying creatures that are large on my list, and nothing that I have suggested has flyby attack, which means they can get into an attack range, do an attack, and then get back out without having to worry about getting hurt, injured, damaged in some way. I've left them off. Here's where I want to say just an amendment to that, and that is flying mounts and animal companions are much more suitable at high level of play. Why are they suitable? Because the players' characters are already incredibly powerful. They've been pimped out. They're almost as overpowered as they could possibly be. So giving them the solve all problems giant eagle is not so much of a big issue at that point, because you're really not going to be able to change anything very much at that stage anyway. So if they want a flying mount at much higher levels, now when I say higher levels of play, I do not mean at level 10. That's not high level play. Most people play between level 1 to level 12 or level 10. I'm talking about when you are like level 15 to 20. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about between level 10 and 15. I'm talking about the very high end. This is when your players are probably going to want to have a flying mount. And of course, that's going to come up for how many people? Very few. So you won't have to worry about it too often. Okay, so there's some light at the end of the tunnel with the flying mount and flying animal companion. Now, if you found this video useful, fantastic. I actually have another video called Animal Companions Are Awesome, and it talks about the utility function of an animal companion. I also have a video on how to fix the Beastmaster. If you want to try that variant role, check out that video as well. If you want me to make more videos on this topic, guess what? I'm going to make more videos on the topic. Yes, I know you want to know how to upgrade that animal companion. I've given you a list of range levels, but what happens when it needs to increase in level? That's another video, and it will be coming, just not today. If you want to support the channel so I keep doing video content like this, you can do that through Patreon, through the Amazon and Book Depository links, the affiliate links down in the description. I have a merchandise shelf underneath all of my videos, or just watch my videos, that's fine too. Make sure to share, like and subscribe, and hit the bell button to be notified when I go live and when I publish new videos, and that happens quite a lot as it happens. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, I am back. For those of you wondering, where has he gone? Is he going to talk to us? Yeah, of course I'm going to talk to you. So, questions. This is the time. It is my birthday. And on my birthday, I have planned to go and have a massage because my body is getting old and decrepit and I need to actually look after it a bit more. So I do have to go. So you need to be fast. Pump out that stuff. When I get to the bottom of the live chat, I'm gone. That's not that I don't love you all, but I do need to deal with those sorts of things. Also, I've decided I am going to pay off a big chunk of my mortgage today, just to make my life easier. I will answer questions about animal companions, and I will answer questions about anything you want to talk about. I don't care whether you are a player or a dungeon master. It doesn't matter. I'll talk about whatever you like. Okay, and I know somebody's already put it in there. I knew somebody was going to say dinosaurs. Fred, what about the dinosaurs? We can talk about the dinosaurs. I'll get to the bottom of that first. Okay, so I said hi to Overboard DM. Now, Overboard DM has a channel that sort of talks about and shows off miniatures, high-end miniatures and terrain. Go check him out. Joe's pretty good at doing that now. Pardon me. A lot of gas. John, okay, yes. So John, the secret to putting out a lot of content for on YouTube, like a lot of YouTubers might have already know, and that is you don't have a life. You just spend all of your free time, when you do have it, which is not very much, just putting everything together. That's how it works. Thank you, Reginald. Thank you, Reginald. Hey, man, thank you very much. Okay, so Robert, I said hi to Robert. Hi, Fred. Fred managed to make it on time today. David's here. Cameron's here. Sam Tom Miller is here. Now, Sam Tom Miller sent me some video footage showing me how he was using some of the pre-printed maps in the D&D Tactical Maps Reincarnated pack, how you could use some of those maps as locations in the Lost Mine of Phandelver. I would recommend going and checking it out because I think it's brilliant, even if some people didn't think it was. It's far more brilliant than Tom really realizes, I suspect, and hopefully over time people will understand just how clever it was, because it has been a question people have asked me many, many times, particularly as they don't get all the maps they might have wanted. That's right, you're going to get that dragon companion. Now, if I was going to do a video, Joe, on animal companions that are dragons, I would have written down selecting dragon animal companions or having a dragon animal companion. Yes, I did a video on how riding dragons. There is a video on that. I know there aren't too many topics that people who talk about that sort of thing, but I did that. But no, it's not about... What did I do? I did hatching dragon babies as well. Thanks to Fred. He provided me with all of the research. Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. Raphael, I have a friend who's interested in having an animal companion. We're not sure how to go about it. Now, Raphael, as it happens, I am going to explain to you, probably in about 2 weeks, how to upgrade the animal companion and use it. I've just given you 18 options and the level that they would be suitable for in your game. Okay, so hopefully I have just answered the vast majority of what you needed to know. All I would say to you is when you select the animal companion, make sure you allow them to have death saving throws. It's really important, okay? Because the only reason you're giving somebody an animal companion usually is if the party's a bit light on numbers, if you've only got 3 players and you need to buff up their numbers a bit. Even in some cases, if you have 4 players, pumping them up to 5 combatants is actually probably not a bad idea for specific adventures. It's not always going to be necessary to do that all the time. I would say in the case of some parts of the Lost Mine of Phandelver, you won't need to worry about that. With Dragon of Ice by a Peak, Dragon of Ice by a Peak is actually probably a vastly more difficult combat adventure compared to the Lost Mine of Phandelver. And then when you start looking at things like Horde of the Dragon Queen and the Rise of Tiamat, that's a different kettle of fish again. Things like Curse of Strahd. Look, Curse of Strahd is, you could give them a lot more stuff and they would still wind up having a lot of trouble getting through that adventure. The Curse of Strahd is really difficult. And I've run it. And I've run Ravenloft, the original, and a whole lot of other things. So, we are on the right topic for today. Okay, so Fred, what do you got here? Animal Companions is one of the most broken features in 5e. At low levels, it doesn't really matter. Look, they're not a broken feature. Do you know why they're not a broken feature? Because nobody uses them. Very, very rarely do you see animal companions used at the table, Fred, because people remember what they used to be like during Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. And as a result, they just go hands off. No, thank you very much. Does that make sense? Hands off, no thank you. So it's not a broken feature. At low levels, they are OP. Okay, so I have selected animal companions for specific levels that are not OP. No, they're not. Look, the only time that an animal companion becomes a liability, and we're going to disagree on this one, Fred, and I know you can cope with that because we've disagreed on many different things before in the past, and that is you don't have to worry about those sorts of things because if you've got a big party, don't have an animal companion. What would be the point? Do you know what I mean? It's like, we want to have a sidekick or a hireling and a video content and topic that I've talked about. Don't use them if they don't need them. Animal companions are just there if you need to use them. And they're much better as an option than a hireling. Because they don't have that much personality to deal with. They're really just very mechanical in nature. Unless, of course, you want to do other things with them. That's up to the players. That's not a Dungeon Master issue, right? There are attempts to fix it, but they have failed so far. Well, Fred, my next video will explain. I feel like this is the first step, and I'm going to say the next step should probably move you from you think they can't be used correctly to they can be used. That is my goal, to move your thought pattern on that one. And I know that's not necessarily likely to happen, but we can only try. King of the Ones. Hello, boo. Now, why am I getting a boo from the King of the Ones? I don't know why. Hi, Matt. How's it going? Baby dragon suitable for level 5? No. No. Now, the reason I have not included baby dragons, and it would take a lot of pressure and a lot of people wanting baby dragons in the game for me to do a video on the topic, is that I've done the baby dragon thing in Dungeons & Dragons. The reason I talk about a lot of these things is I've already done it. I've done dragon riders. I've done baby dragons in my game. And I can tell you now, baby dragons as an animal companion or companion in the party is going to be OP and going to be a problem. If you're happy with having that problem, so be it. But there's no good fix for that one. Because it's a dragon, even if it is a small one. Okay, what do you got here, Sam? I would say be open to using certain animals, but using stats of something else. Say, several years ago I was playing and I wanted a falcon, but we couldn't find stats for one, so just use the raven stats. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have an animal companion that is a falcon or a raven or has hit dice that is a 4 or a 6. I'm just saying if you're going to have an animal companion that's going to be in combat, don't pick them. Otherwise, you would have to build the whole thing yourself. Okay? You would probably have to make significant changes. And the whole point of my channel is to show you how to do things to make your life easier. I'm about making my life easier and about making the Dungeon Master's life easier, not more difficult. I'm not here to generate more work for you. Okay? The idea is to make it easier. But a falcon and a raven are a good option if you want your animal companion to be more utility focused, as a scout or searching. That is a big difference. Does that make sense? And the other video that I did talks very much about using animal companions in that way. Fred Hubber. Baby dragon presents severe problems. Mama dragon or dada dragon will show up. Well, yes, I suppose that's one thing. Certainly would be entertaining. But yes, that's only part of the problem. And even if you didn't have to deal with mama dragon or dada dragon, you've got other issues I've found with having baby dragons. Because baby dragons, they breathe fire or breathe they've got some sort of breath weapon. Unless you insist they don't have a breath weapon at all. But, you know, there's still other aspects to them that make them very powerful. Okay. And a dragon is a dragon, not a beast. And yeah, that's exactly right. We were talking about animal companions rather than dragon companions. So that is definitely the big point. Otherwise, the video would be a very different topic. Okay, Sam. Earlier this week, one of my players wanted a tiger. Cool. I didn't want to give him a tiger, but he wanted one because of Tiger King. So we settled on a runt of a tiger using a panther stat block. So that's good. So now the panther is suitable for level 3. If your player character is level 3, that's going to work out fine. Okay. What you can do as he levels up, because in about 2 weeks there'll be another video that explains how to level them up. You'll be able to get it to level 4, and then when you get to he gets to level 5, you change out that stat block and use the tiger stat block, and then you can just continue on with that to the point where your campaign ends. Does that make sense? That would be the easiest way to do that, Sam. But you're a smart DM, Sam, and I'm sure you can figure all of that out yourself without my help. Okay, what do you got here, Joe? Unless you're a DM and a DM can homebrew. Yeah, DMs, yeah, if you're not the DM, you can't really sort of do too much. You've got to be the DM who makes those choices, and if you're not comfortable with animal companions, don't use them. Okay? I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying this is a way of doing it. Yes, you can use hirelings. You don't have to have an animal companion. I did a video on hirelings and their uses and where you can go and get hirelings that you could use in your campaign if the players want to have extra support. It's there. Now is that Zycam Bubble Wrap? Zycam Bubble Wrap. Oh, like the name. Animal companions are excellent alternative to hirelings. Yes, they are. I prefer the animal companion over the hireling. Why? Less complexity for the player. Less hassle for a dungeon master. Much less likely to be overpowered compared to a hireling, because some of the features that are available in the Dragon of Icespire Peak, the Dungeons & Dragons Essentials kit, which gives you sidekicks, those sidekicks are pretty good. They're not as good as a player character, but some of their features make them incredibly powerful. Far more powerful than any animal companion could ever be. particularly if you use them pretty much as they were laid out in the monster manual or the player's handbook. Yeah, the key is not to overshadow the player's characters. Exactly. That's right. Rest in peace, Giant Owl. And yes, no, I know, Dan, that the Giant Owl would be at the top of the list because the Giant Owl has the ability to fly, potentially could carry somebody who's light enough, and it's got, isn't it flyby attack as well? I'm pretty sure it's got flyby attack. I mean, owl full stop. Yeah, and rest in peace, the Clockwork Owl. That's right. You're welcome for that, Reginald. I'm glad you found the video useful. David, what do you got here? I hope you're talking about what the animals can do in a campaign. Fight, defend, recon. Now, in terms of, David, what you're talking about in terms of what an animal companion can do, I hadn't actually intended on talking specifically about what they could do in the campaign. I did a video on the utility function of an animal companion. But if, David, if you're saying that you would like to see video content that talks about the animal companion being used in combat, it takes 3 people in the live chat saying, Fred, we want animal companion combat video. Then I do it. If I don't see that, then I don't do it. But the next video that I line up is going to be upgrading the animal companion, because I know that's the next question that people will have. Okay, about 2 weeks from now. Any dinosaurs? Jacob, Jacob, let's talk about dinosaurs and why I do not include dinosaurs. 1, because of their size. 2, because they're too nasty, and really there's nothing low level about a dinosaur. So let's have a look. Oh, I'm in the wrong book. I knew somebody was going to ask me something like this, so that's why I've got the books right beside me, Jacob, just for your benefit. Okay, so dinosaurs. Where are we? Dinosaurs. Find the page. I'm still flicking through dragons. Get out of the way, dragons. I'm not talking about you today. And there we are. Here it is. So on page 79 through to 80, we have dinosaurs. Now, let's have a look at the dinosaurs that are available here, Jacob, and you'll see what my point is when I start calling out their hit dice. So an Allosaurus is a large creature. Now, large is not the issue. They could be medium, they could be large. I don't really care so much about that. My biggest issue with them is their strength modifier is massive, their constitution modifier is massive, but they have 6d10 hit dice, which from the formula and suggestion that I have offered to you, they would really only be suitable for somebody who's level 6. But here's the problem, it's a dinosaur. Not only is it really good at combat, you can ride it, and it's high level play. So, and dinosaurs are very, very specific to a campaign. So if you want to build animal companions as being dinosaurs, and yes, I know it's a beast, I do realize it's a beast, then that's more really another topic. Do you know what I mean? Because we're not dealing, here's the next one. Okay, the next one below that, the Ankylosaurus, did I say it right? That's 8d12 hit dice, suitable for level 8. We're talking about medium level play. We're not talking about beginner play. Plesiosaurus, 8d10, more suitable for level 8. Triceratops, 10d12. Do you see my point? These things are just too powerful. And I'm not going to talk about the flying dinosaur because, 1, it's flying. Okay, I know it's medium. It has flyby attack, and yes, it does only have 3d8 as its hit dice, but that's beside the point. It's a flying creature, and flying creatures as animal companions do change everything. Okay, particularly if they are capable of sticking around in combat as well. And then, of course, you have the T-Rex. And the T-Rex is just stupidly powerful because it's 13d12. 13d12. Hence why I did not talk about dinosaurs. If you want me, if people really want me to talk about using dinosaurs in a campaign, 3 of you have got to say, Fred, we'd like a video on dinosaurs being used as mounts or animal companions or something like that, and then maybe I will consider it. But it's really only suitable for mid-level play, certainly not beginner play. Otherwise, dinosaur more powerful than player character. Okay. Settle down, Fred. Let us flow. Just calm a little bit. We'll move off the dinosaurs. Thanks for another great video. Happy birthday. Thank you, John. Okay, now I got a lot of happy birthdays coming through. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate it. Cameron, so glad I watched this video. I totally blanked animal companions in the game I'm designing. No one has used them for so long in my campaign. Laugh out loud. Now, the reason that people aren't using them in their campaigns is because the Beastmaster sucks, right? And even though the Beastmaster sucks, a lot of people want to play it because it used to be really good. It used to be too good. But now we don't want to have animal companions whatsoever because we're worried about, are they going to be too overpowered in combat, or are they going to provide too many benefits in terms of utility outside of combat, or are they going to do both really well and make it pointless that the players actually do any scouting or have to worry about standing in the front line? Do you know what I mean? Or there are too many attacks that they're making. So I do understand what's going on there. It's a legitimate concern, but there are ways of doing it. Okay. Not that you need to listen to me. You can ignore me. I will not get upset. Okay, John, I have no life and I'm a YouTuber. That's right. That's right. Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. I just work in a job that makes pretty good money right now. It's incredibly stressful, and all of my spare time goes into YouTube. That's it. And prepping my game. And I'm hoping I get to play tomorrow, because we've had a few problems with the campaign just recently. As we all know, it's the big P thing, right? That social distancing issues that we have. Not so much of an issue now here in New Zealand, but yeah, anyway. Cameron, what do you think is the hardest part of running one-shots? The hardest part of running a one-shot is running a one-shot that players want to play in. I feel like that is certainly the hardest thing I have found. Finding a topic that they are willing to show up only once to play. That's not so easy. The other thing is, with a one-shot, unless you have a pre-written adventure which is really good, and there aren't that many out there, unfortunately, in my opinion. There are some good ones, and I have talked about them in other videos. There's too much work. But the hardest bit is getting players interested and engaged in a one-shot. Usually they want more than just the one-shot. There's a very specific type of player that is interested in a one-shot. They are usually dedicated to you as a dungeon master because they know you, or they're just starting out and they just want to try, they test their feet in the water first. Okay, what do you got here, Dan? What about my seahorse animal companion that I keep in my water skin? Oh, hey, Dan, you do your thing. I don't think your seahorse is going to be very useful in combat, though. But I'm sure that the seahorse can do other things. It must be quite small. Have you shrunk it down? What do you got here, John? Boo was an animal companion to Minsk in the Baldur's Gate games. Yes, he was. Now, you got to remember, Boo is not being played in a real game of Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, it's part of a video game. The video game's not the same as the tabletop roleplay game, and Boo is supposed to be a miniaturized giant space hamster. which is bizarre. Okay, it's pretty bizarre. And he's also exists in lots of comics and books. Again, not a game where you're actually going to be playing the game with a hamster. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay, Jack, I'm not going to touch your hamster. Hands off the hamster. Okay. How's it going, Aaron? It's been a while. Baby dragons also eat gold. That's right. So you need to have quite a bit of gold to deal with the fact that they are going to get very, very hungry. And if some of them eat gold, some of them eat silver, some of them eat platinum, copper. What else is there? Electrum. Some of them eat gems. Good Lord. Could be expensive. I'm looking forward to taking the players gold and gems. Right, to feed the dragon. Wouldn't keep the baby dragon around for long. Yeah, I think you'll find the baby dragon can be a problem. I always found that it did. Do you know what is interesting is when I did have a baby dragon in my campaign, one of the player who had the baby dragon would take their baby dragon out of the equation. The baby dragon's doing better than I am. Now that could be a product of Fred not making enough adjustments to the baby dragon. Or it could be that the fact that the nature of the baby dragon, and it can fly and it can breathe and all these other things, is that it was overshadowing the players. And she would actually leave it at home and go off adventuring, and would not bring the baby dragon with her near the end of the campaign. She deliberately did that, and yet she had asked for a baby dragon. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was very interesting. Only one situation I am aware, it doesn't cover everybody. Okay. Tomb of Annihilation has small dinosaurs and rideable ones, but I rarely have a dino in my game. Yeah, so now the Tomb of Annihilation's a very different kettle of fish, because there are dinosaurs there. But we're talking about smaller dinosaurs, and the function of the dinosaur is not necessarily combat. There's a dinosaur race in that adventure. Okay? So it's not going to overshadow the players. It is just a means to hopefully an epic and an interesting action scene. That's really what it is it's an action scene, like a mini game within the game. Okay, Dan, what do you got here? Dino companions exclusively for adventures exploring the dungeons of Chult. Okay, so Dan, that's one. But I require two people to say they want dinosaur advice for adventures as animal companions. If I only have one, no video. Okay? I'm sorry. Eberron dinos. Yes, okay, Jack, I realise Eberron dinos. Again, a very specific campaign. I mean, halfling barbarian riding raptors are on. Yeah, they are. That's right. It is a staple. But here's the thing. You think about a raptor and what a raptor is going to be doing. Okay? What level is a raptor suitable for without it overpowering the combat efficiency or effectiveness of your player character? That's why I don't talk about dinosaurs, because dinosaurs are good at combat. They're built for it. That's the reality. They are built for combat. They really are. The ones that we have available, they're really good at it. And they have a lot of hit points. So, yeah, just how I see it. Space hamster. Yeah, that's right, Aaron. Space hamster. Yeah. Looks up actual dimensions of seahorse. Yeah, you want me to look up the dimensions of a seahorse? Really? Oh, okay, I can look at that. I don't think they are. I mean, the seahorse is quite small, but it's not really going to be super useful in combat, even if you're in the sea, unless it's a bigger seahorse. I've got the wrong book. This is the player's handbook. What are we going to do with that? Not much. Let's skip her over to the next one. I'm almost at the bottom here. Okay, so Joseph Scott. Is that Joseph Skiles? I hope I got your name right. Just a topic I was wondering about. Would a dire goat be allowed for a paladin holy mount in an adventure league? Look, Adventure League has got their own set of rules. I haven't been involved in Dungeons and Dragons Adventurers League for, oh God, it's a long time. 4 years? Is it 4 years or is it 3 years? It's been a while. It's been quite a few years now. So I wouldn't even know what the rules are around using mounts. And because of the nature of those games and its organised play, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. I would jump onto one of the Dungeons and Dragons Adventurers League websites and have a talk to somebody there to see what they have to say. What do you got here, Cameron? There are smaller dinosaurs like the Velociraptor. Yeah, but again, Velociraptor is still a very efficient killer. Do you know what I mean? It would be cool to see a video about them. That's 2. We've got Dan, we've got Cameron. We require 1 additional person, and I guess I'll be doing a dinosaur video. But let's get back to the seahorse, because we were having a discussion about the seahorse. Is the seahorse even in here? I can't even remember. I should remember. I've looked through it enough. Seahorse. There we go. There it is. Seahorse is a tiny beast. Okay, 1d4 minus 1. That's its hit dice. 1d4. It has 1 hit point. I just don't think it's a good idea to stick the seahorse into combat. What attack does it do? It doesn't have one. It breathes water. Water breathing. That's it. That's all it's got. If you want to have a seahorse as an animal companion, I don't think your dungeon master is going to mind in the slightest. In fact, you could probably have 4 of them. So, they can swim around in the ocean and scout for you if you can communicate with them. Sweet. Okay. All right, so what's the next thing? Aaron, I would like to see a video about the combat of a companion. It seems like they are mostly using the help action as an animal unless it's a beastmaster. Okay. All right, so that's 2 people who want combat functions behind the animal companion. You need 1 more and then I will do it. It needs to be 1 different person. Otherwise I go. And I'm about to disappear, guys. Doesn't mean it won't happen. But yeah, the next video is definitely the upgrading of the animal companion. Giant goats are not to be trifled with. Look, goats aren't to be trifled with at all. Never trifle with a goat. I had to walk past a goat when I was walking to school for many years. And those things are horrible. It's like geese. Geese are possessed by the devil. I don't know what it is about geese. Geese and goats. The most grumpy creatures under the sun. Okay. Joseph. Yeah, you're one of the only people who got my last name right. Look, trust me, I'm one of the few people who can get it wrong too. Thanks for the advice, man. You're welcome. I would probably reflavor the Axbeak as some kind of dino. Well, I suppose you can if you want. Like a smaller dino. I mean, flightless birds probably did exist in some way in form during the Jurassic period, more than likely. Slam frog, fantastic name. I wouldn't mind seeing a video about dinos that are quite interesting. Looks like I'm doing a dino video. Okay, hang on. Give me a second. Paper towel. So, dino companion video. I would just like to point out that I am moving outside of my realm of expertise, and I will require a long time and a lot of help from other people that I know to be able to do something like that, because it's not something I normally do. Let's do the dino video. Fred, that's 4 people. Nice. So, fine, at some point, but God help me. That's a tricky type of subject. Okay, all right. So what else have we got here? Joseph, what do you got here? I have a regular goat, and he's not to be messed with. Exactly. But yeah, the one in the Curse of Strahd is mean. Absolutely. Very, very mean. David, can't believe Dino wins the day, and there was no third video for the companion combat. Yeah, David. David Hopkins makes a good point. We didn't get a third vote for animal companion combat, but we got 4 votes for dino companions. How is that strange? That's very strange. I'll tell you, that's very strange. Goats are awesome. They're scary as. I miss, what's that? Cereals. Oh, okay. All right. We did it, team. We got the dinos. Yeah, you got the dinos. All right. Okay, guys, I am definitely having to get out of here. Okay, I've got to go and do some stuff. I have an appointment, so it's important that I make sure I'm there on time. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, the very early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. And don't forget, I believe if you are a Critical Role fan, Critical Role is supposed to be on today. Pretty sure it's today. Make sure to look after your neighbours as well. They are still part of your life. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.